Okay, I thought it would be helpful this morning to go over live what I'm looking at here. This is the 4-hour chart, and it has about 3 days ago, beginning of last week, hit that support of the blue SMA, and headed up. Friday, it had a big drop, but it did not go all the way down to that SMA again, like I thought it might, and it has recovered from that point and gone up, which is a little bit of a surprise, honestly. So it's possible that we have some more upward movement to go. We can see that the MACD on the 1-hour chart, and as we zoom in a little bit further, is like continuing up. It's pretty much flat overnight, which is not terribly surprising. It is oftentimes, not every time, but oftentimes during the night because there's just not a lot of volume. On the 15-minute chart, it does look like the MACD is crossing and heading up. There's just not like a lot of information here. Let's go back to the 1-hour chart. Yeah. So I'd be inclined to think that it's heading up more than down. I put in an alert right at the peak here of all of the overnight trading, and it just triggered it. So it's 5 minutes away from the opening. Oh, no, actually, closer than that. Okay, yeah, it's the opening bell right now. Okay, so now it's starting to drop. All right. So the 1-hour 50 SMA, let's go double check that line. Yep, that's exactly where it should be. That is currently acting as support. That is crossed now and looking like it's dropping on the 30-minute. I've got the Fibonacci lines drawn as well. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see where I put those lines. Okay, so the bottom was way back here on the 2nd of September. Today's the 8th. So this is a point, definitely. I can see it lining up with the price action over here. That would be a point that it would go to. This is support. This is support right here as well. All right, looks like it may be bounced off of that point. Let's go back to the 15-minute, just look at the yeah, 15-minute looks like it's going to be dropping. 5-minute looks like it's dropping. 1 minute dropping. Okay. Well, I'd say we have broken through that. Let's try to get into a decent position here. Okay, I've gone to Thinkorswim platform just so that I'm not doing anything stupid on the eval. And sometimes it's easier to analyze on this one for me. I don't know why. And as a matter of fact, I am actually seeing some clearer information here. So you can see the RSI in this one a little bit clearer, that each peak here is actually losing momentum. And so we do see a slight divergence. So we are losing momentum here, and so I do think it's going to be dropping. So if we put that in there like that, whoops, we want to bracket. And I didn't quite get one set in time. Okay, well, shucks. All right, so this is the 15-minute chart. Let's go to the 1-minute chart. And I would put in a stop, 506.50, which is not that far up here. All right, the other thing that we can see better on this one is the orders that are in here. And they're pretty evenly distributed, honestly. In fact, let's see. I think maybe even I would put it up here at that point. If we peak out higher than this, that's not good. Okay, looks like it's dropping. And then at this point, 98.70 down here. This is where it's probably going to be going. But I don't think, oh, I can, look at that. I can put them both in. Nice. All right, it's just that one will not disappear before the other. So if it's dropping, that's looking good. This is the 1 minute chart, so if we go to the 5 minute chart, you can definitely see this. And if it goes down below this point right here, let's put in an alert there. That will be a pretty decent sign that it's going to be continuing to drop. It's not exactly a 1 to 3 trade. In fact, it's not even a 1 to 2 trade. Ooh, and it bounced right back up again. It's a pretty uncertain morning, actually. I probably don't really want to be trading this morning. It's trying to figure out what direction it's going, I would say. Pretty evenly distributed, and that's kind of what I'm seeing. It's not a lot of direction. It's been difficult to actually make a decision about where it's going this morning. And you can definitely see that. First it went up a little bit, and then it dropped, and then up, and then dropped. And it's staying within a pretty narrow band right through here. Pretty narrow, yeah, my goodness. 509 to 598. So that's very narrow. Okay, I put the extended hours as highlighted over here, so they're a little bit easier to see when that opening bell was. Okay, I got stopped out again, so that would be the second loss in a row. All right, so I made a $200 trade there. Okay, I'm going to play it going up now. Ooh, there's a ton of orders right there. Wow, that's a lot. My goodness. Gotta lower that limit, because now there's a ton of orders right there too. Alright, very good. Okay, so to mitigate losses and minimize risk, we switched over to the MES. I'm at about $120 loss from the beginning of the day. So it's not too bad, but I'm going to try to make just a little bit at a time here. This trade here I think is my next good setup. We're waiting for it to get up to that point, and I'm going to sell, go short, and if it gets down to this point I'll make 100, and my losses will be capped at $35. And I think that's a decent place. If it gets up too much farther than that, I would worry about it anyway. So actually that's a pretty good place, even though it's really tight. And more than likely I will probably drop that down in order to get in. Alright, so it looks like I did get in and it started to drop. Let me go back up again. Yeah, that's four trades. Alright, so it did drop, and I lowered my stop to lock in some profits there. And it looks like I'm just about to get filled here. Alright, and then I am looking at another trade here. This is a second one. So that first one I made, I think, 100. So now I'm only at a little under $100 loss for the day. Alright, so it got up to this point, and I was going to try to do 5 contracts this time, one more than last time. And get into a short. So I got into a short here, and my stop is above this last peak here because it surpassed, surprisingly, it went shooting up through here. And I got in because it had started to look like it was turning over, and it was actually above the SMAs. So I thought it was a good place, but then it went up a little bit further. This was initially where I'd put my stop anyway, and I'm expecting it to go down to that point. But I got stopped out. So I'm kind of back to where I started from, about $160 loss, a little bit more for the day. So I think I'm going to just stop. This is just too difficult of a day. It's not clear what's going on here. So I'm going to call it good for today. Disappointing, but I think it could be a lot worse if I kept going. So anyhow,